Hello ladies and gents, welcome back to the FTRL F1 division. We are on round 5 and 6 tonight. As you can see, we're on board with Nexus Cats. Just quickly getting our way through the one-shot quali that we will have for Japan tonight. We will be going to Austria after this track tonight, so a bit of bad luck for the drivers tonight on the track selection, but they're going to have to see what they can do to try and score themselves some decent points. A few drivers didn't have the best of runs last week, so they'll probably be wanting to improve on that. I am joined again this week by Pagani. Hello mate, how you doing? As Kat gets disqualified.
Yeah, I was just looking at Kat. He was parked at the exit of turn 1, so I'm not sure he was ready to start.
I just want to point out that we've got a new driver here. We've got Lewis, who's going to be replacing Aaron in the Force India, and he's already on he's on course to get pole. He's leading the one shot. He's having a good run so far. Fastest second sector.
Switchback was feeling very confident tonight. He's since been disqualified from qualifying, so well done, Zach.
That will probably knock his confidence down just a little bit.
Well, Lewis, our new guy, does get pole, so
by 1.1 seconds. He set a 1 minute 28.061.
He's a little bit quick by the looks of things, so
yeah, just a bit.
Room with a chance.
It's not going to be easy for the lads tonight, I don't think. They're gonna. It's a pretty decent benchmark which you set.
I was going to say, when the next quickest in the field is onto the podium, you know you're in trouble. Like, yeah. Everybody sort of screwed their lap, so.
Plus, if he's that high up on the grid, we're going to have an 18-car long train, so.
Well, Junkie Spot did try and qualify in the medium tyres.
So he's gonna try and run long on the first stint, it seems.
And unfortunately for Lee, he's qualified slower than Junkie Sport on the soft tyre, so.
Don't do him like that.
Sorry, Lee.
Well, we know Lee will probably crash or spin it sometime in the race, so quality position doesn't matter too much. Lee's just got to worry about keeping it on the road.
Yeah, that banana does tend to like to slide off the road once in a while, so.
It's not the most stable of cars.
I think it's just Lee. I don't think he likes the track, I think he likes grass.
Forget about the tarmac specialist, Lee's the grass specialist.
At least the unnecessary spin into a wall specialist.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, last season when Lee was coming into the pits in qualifying, he actually managed to hit the pit lane wall. So nice. that would be something he's looking to not replicate tonight.
Well, I'm seeing a couple of cars bouncing up and down on the grid, so it looks like they're excited to get started.
Yeah, one of the Force Indians having a little bit of a bob around. Just on the corner of my screen while all the marshals are looking dumbfounded. Well, we're starting the formation lap while we just reset all the telemetry, because the game thinks it's a good idea to keep resetting it. So we'll do a quick little run through our quali. We've got Lewis making his debut. He is on pole position. Done it by a second. He's in the racing points. I was about to call the Force India. We've got onto the train in P2. So it's a good qualifying from him. He's gonna have some guys to challenge tonight with Brutus Beer. He's had a good qualifying also in the Alfa Romeo. He is currently sitting P3. With Zumpy also having a good qualifying. He is P4. With FTRL Panda P5. Jamie not too far behind him. He is running in P6 in his Red Bull. With Nexus Iceman, the sister car to the Red Bull. He is currently 7th in the Toro Rosso, with Ross in the Renault. We've got Nexus Cat running P9 in his Williams. So he's going to be running around the midfield of today's race with Zombie P10 as he kicks up a little bit of grass in the formation lap. Just Mike, the teammate of the new guy, he is currently P11. He's in a nice little spot. He gets a nice fresh set of tyres as he's just outside the top 10 with AJ in the Haas, currently P12. We have Donzo P13. with Junkie Sports, who tried a different strategy through qualifying. He's P14 in the Red Bull on a set of mediums. With Lee Cole, he is running a set of softs in P15 with Agent Panda 16th, Goikarp 17th, Catamese in P18. So a few guys are going to have to watch out tonight. With Switchback in P19, who did say he was feeling confident for tonight's races, but he's not had the best of qualifying sessions. Then we have Sam in the Williams rounding off the grid on his fresh set of mediums.
I'm wondering if Cat had some sort of penalty regarding last week, that's why I didn't take part in qualifying.
Actually, yeah, I do think he got a qualifying ban from last week. So that will probably be the reason.
But we've got 3 very quick guys starting at the back of this field, so hopefully there's no fireworks coming through the grid.
Well, yeah, it's one of those tracks where it's bound to happen somewhere. You know, turn 1, someone's got to go for the inside and someone's going to go for the outside, then paths just merge. So it's going to be an interesting one to say the least, but we've not got the best camera angle off the game.
Well, I'm going to keep my Cat off the grid because he's usually a very quick starter. So.
He does have a good launch. The 5 red lights are out. It's a good start from Lewis and also a very good one from onto the podium. They look like they're going to be running side by side into one, forcing him just about manages to hang it round the outside. That onto the podium was also being attacked by Brutus there, but Brutus couldn't really find a way around. And Brutus has just had contact with Zumpy, and that's also took Jamie along with him, so that's a few guys dropping right down the field.
Mikey had a wiggle. Oh, Cat had a fantastic start. He was up to P10, but he's got a wheel on the grass. Spun in front of Lee, so Lee's got wing damage.
Yeah, it's all popping up. He just had Agent Panda spinning. There's more contact between Cat and Lee Cole as Cat tries the outside of the first Degner. So it was all popping off there at the start with the Catamese.
Safety car.
Yes, we do, which is not entirely surprising for this track. We've got Agent Panda is out of the race. So he spun around here in 5 or 6, I think that was.
Wing damage. Brutus has got no front wing. Mikey had a spin by himself, I believe, but he's still got his front wing. So make it interesting what you do tyres at the pits. Do you pit early, go on the medium and hope they last, or?
It's a tough one because you do want to maximise the grip you've got with the soft tyre, but then you don't want to lose out in that free pit stop. So it's a tough one for them to figure out, but I'm sure they'll all know what they're doing in a second. I just want to point out that Jamie has also been knocked quite far back down the grid. With Brutus and I think it was Zumpy at the little coming together.
Everybody's in.
Everyone's coming in, yeah. So we had Brutus and Zumpy just had a little coming together, and unfortunately Jamie having to get out the way, had to take to the gravel to try and save his car basically. But yeah, pretty much everyone's coming in.
Zumpy's overtaken onto the podium in the pits.
He has. So Zumpy's had a fairly nifty pit stop. That's put him out in front of the Ferrari. He's about to call the red car of Force India for a moment. Don't know why. But we've had a couple of drivers stay out. Obviously Junkie Sports will stay out. He started on a set of medium tyres. But we've also got AJ. He's decided not to pit on that set of softs. He's decided he's going to try and draw them out for a bit longer. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up. He did start quite far down the grid. I think it was around the area of P15. So he's gained obviously a big advantage from that. He's currently leading the pack, but with the fact that his tyre is going to wear out a lot more, I think it's going to really show off how well he can defend. It's going to put him to the test a little bit.
It will indeed.
So the lads who lost the front wing, Switchback, and I believe it was Brutus, they're in a good spot because everyone's had to pit, and obviously there's a safety car. They'll have the chance to get right back up to the pack, but obviously they've lost out a lot of time. Brutus has, I think he started P3, he started there. So it's not the ideal first lap, but
he's on board a Switchback and he managed to go off at the hairpin by himself.
He's just exploring.
He's exploring track
yeah.
limits.
He's not got an awful lot to do under the safety cars. He's making it interesting for himself.
Well, a couple of the guys, you've got Sam who started on the mediums has gone to the soft, and Donzo's gone back out on a set of softs.
And I believe Donzo did start on a set of softs, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, AJ's come in.
Yeah, he's come in. He's going to lose a lot of positions from that, taking the pit stop on the second lap of the safety car.
He is, but he will have a lot fresher tyres than anyone else.
Yeah, it is true. But they are all on the same compounded tyre, and especially the safety car doesn't. At least I don't think it does. I don't think it makes a ton of difference. Obviously, because I haven't raced with a safety car in this game because it launched with a broken safety car.
I raced, I think, 4 races with it, and there was a safety car in 3 of them. So, yeah.
So we have a bit of insider knowledge from Pagani there.
The safety car does make you think differently about races. I mean, if you do get a bit of contact early, you've still got to press on because the race isn't finished on lap 1 nowadays. So,
yeah, and there's obviously in this season we only have half the time in the race than we used to because we are running 2 25% races. So obviously it's going to encourage people to try and get up the grid a bit quicker. So obviously with that it's going to come a few hasty decisions, a few bits of contact as there have been. But that's all part of racing. There's not an awful lot you can do about it. Just got to try and survive the opening laps, which are the most dangerous.
I mean, this restart lap when it comes is going to be interesting.
A few people out of position. We've got Junkie Sport leading the way on his set of mediums he's took since the start. Zombie gets a penalty.
Can only guess he's gone wide at Spoon.
Yeah, probably. I think it's a bit harsh to get given a 5-second penalty, you know, especially into the safety car. You're not gaining an advantage. It's coming in this lap, so we will be seeing
your old mucker do at the front with Junkie Sport? Can he hold on?
Well, he did say that he made changes to his setup and he's feeling a lot better on F1, and he did have a good result last week, so I think that will push him to give it that extra little bit of oomph tonight and try and push forward as he stamps the throttle out of the chicane. What's happened?
Lewis went over that bump on that last corner of Suzuka. He had a full opposite lock snap.
She was scared me for a moment.
Opposite lock snap, even, if I could speak English. But I don't know how he kept hold of that car. That racing point was going towards the wall very quickly.
You've just got to you just got to turn the opposite way and hope it ends up sticking again. It's just one of those corners.
Usually when it does stick, if you're still pointing the opposite direction, you go into the wall very quickly. So yeah.
It's a high risk corner, especially on cold tyres. But Lewis lucky not to drop the rear end there, so I think he'll be counting as lucky stars tonight, as he's all over the back of Junkie right now.
Oh, Cartmeans has got past Jamie, but Jamie's gone very wide into Dunlop, I believe.
3 wide into the hairpin. We just had Junkie Sport down the middle with Lewis on the outside and Zumpy on the inside, so we can tell that Junkie's running the muck right now. He's trying to hold them off as much as he can.
Safety car.
Yeah, I think that might be how Zumpy did get half a wing damage, so he's missing the right end plate, but I know Jamie did have a moment.
Would probably through the second Egner.
Oh, so
he's
do you know how that happens?
Coming out with second Egner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's pretty easy to do that. The curb can spit you off if you try and get the throttle down a little too quick. So that should be a virtual safety car. There's no safety car on my map. So
if you're Zumpy now, what do you do?
He's got a pit, he'll lose too much time. Yeah, Zumpy
virtual safety car's over, so worst possible timing for him.
But Lewis has got in front of Junkie. I don't quite know how that happened. I believe Junkie was in front when the virtual started, but I'm not quite sure. He's going to have onto the podium right onto the back of him now. It looks all fairly clean with everyone going through into turn 1. There's not too many attempts to overtake. But onto the podium's really all over the back of Junkie. He's just trying to find a way through somewhere. And this is just going to allow Lewis to further extend the gap. He's already 2 seconds ahead.
Sector 1 at Suzuka, it's fairly impossible to overtake. There's one line, and
if you try and overtake, you're either going off or you're going into a crash. So it's one of those sectors where you just want to try and tuck in as nice as you can and try and
there's
sort of move
contact.
out somewhere else.
EVR, Sam and Zombie. Sam's got front wing damage.
Let's see.
Coming into hairpin.
So Zombie looks okay, he's got no damage, but yeah, Sam's missing the right, I think it's the right end plate of his front wing, yeah.
It does look that way.
So a little trouble from him.
Junkie Spot is beginning to get a trend behind him now.
Yes, we've got Cat in P10, so he's had a good first few laps. He's managed to make his way up the field fairly well. But yeah, Junkie Sport's leading his own little train right now. He's going side by side and onto the podium through the chicane. But nice and clean between the two, onto the podium, just about manages to get his way through. That looked like Panda and Iceman. Looks like they're going to be going side by side to turn one. Let's see. No. Oh, is he going for it? I haven't got the best camera angles here. Panda's trying it around the outside of Junkie Sport.
Panda tried the outside line.
Yeah, it's a risky one.
Got a yellow flag on that.
Jamie and Brutus have had a moment, I think.
I think Brutus has gone round at turn one.
Yeah, and I don't know, I saw Jamie, it looked like he had a red arrow.
Mikey's the wrong way in the middle of the track.
Jeez. Oh, that was close. They took Zombie with them. See, he was lucky he didn't unghost in the middle of the road. Junkie Sport still got Panda all over the back of him. So Panda's trying to make his way on the podium.
A battle for 12th. Lee is defending for his life from Donzo. Donzo on the softer tyre.
Lee Cole is on the harder tyre. They've both been on the tyres for the same amount of laps. Obviously Donzo tried to go with the more aggressive tyre, but Jamie is looking fairly punchy on the back of Donzo as well. So we've got a good little freeway battle here for P12. Now I was going to say this doesn't award any points, but it actually does. Everyone who races, because the two divisions in one, everybody will be scoring points. So it's a good incentive to keep racing.
From Jamie.
Oh, it just about makes it work. So that's Jamie past Donzo, but he's going down inside into the chicane. Can Jamie get the move on Lee? Just about. A little bit of a tap between the two, but Jamie managed to make a fairly decent double overtake there. But Sam all over the back of Switchback and Cat, so Cat's in danger. Obviously, is Sam cutting a bit of the corner there?
No, the contact was in Sam and Switchback.
Yeah, just a little tap. There's no damage, no one spun off. Just a little bit of time cost. Not an awful lot.
Panda's managed to get past Junkie Sport.
Pim Brutus has had another moment, and Lee Cole spun. Yep.
I mean, Pete asked in the chat, will there be a Michael C. Jinx tonight?
I just want to say this now. Everyone says that I jinx Lee. Now, let's just put in this. Jinxes, I wouldn't say they actually exist. I think it's just Lee being bad.
Oh, Lee's spun again.
Yeah, well, those tyres are going to have heated up quite a bit. After that,
but in the meantime, we've got a Nexus battle between Iceman and Cats.
We do.
Iceman got to move into the hairpin. Cats tried to switch back, but Iceman held on. And they're both coming up to the back of Junkie Sport.
Megatron's trying it on Cats, so he's trying to. I think he was trying to do an Albon there, taking it to the grass a little bit. The Cats holds back into 130R. That's Ross, aka Megatron Lashat. He's up into P6 now, so.
Nexus Cat's got a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits at the last corner.
Yeah, it can be a bit harsh through that final corner there with the track limits. So it's one of those ones you want to be careful with. And Zombie and Switchback side by side into turn one. Switchback gets the move
past Junkie Sport.
He has that. We've got Ross on the back of Junkie Sport now as well. So that'll be Ross trying to find a way through. And Junkie Sport holding on for his life. So I think he'll be enjoying the good battles that he's having right now. Even if he's losing positions, but Lee's in the pits.
I think unless something happens, Lewis is going to win his debut race at the moment. He's got 8-second lead with 5 laps to go.
More than likely. So we've got Sam and Jamie, two quick drivers not far behind each other, both running 11th and 12th.
Ross inside him. Next is Cat at the hairpin. This is allowing Cat to close up.
It's allowing everyone to close up. There's a little bit of a pack behind them, so all this battling can either push them forward or hold them up. Right now it looks like it's holding them up.
Well, we're about to have a cat fight by the looks of it.
I was about to say that. We're on boards with Catamus right now.
Ooh.
He's right behind Cat.
Lewis is a 5-second penalty.
The only thing I can guess he's getting that from is probably cutting like the second part of the last chicane. Oh, that switchback kicking up some grass. No, I don't quite know what happened there. I think he tried something, that's him turned around.
It's unfortunate for Zach, it was the track who feeling more confident now as Junkie Spot hits and picks up a penalty at the same time.
Jamie is side by side with Sam right now going into turn 1. It's going to be, they're both going side by side, and Jamie just about managed to make his way through, but no, Sam's coming back at him.
Sam's held it on the outside with front wing damage, mind. He's
doing
very well.
Yeah, I think with
that flag, what's happened to one at the podium? He's down to 7th.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he had a full spin, so the only thing I can put that down to is a half spin, either on his own or if it might have been encouraged. Because
Panda was 2 seconds behind, so it looks like onto the podium might have just bottled it as usual.
Yeah. So onto the podium, dropped down to 7th.
Mainly because his idol is Nico Hulkenberg, so he doesn't want to finish on the podium. So.
I'm not saying anything.
Well,
you're gonna get killed by him for saying that later on, Paul, you know that.
Yeah.
You don't care, do you?
It's all good to me.
So lap 9 out of 13, only about 4 or 5 laps to go. It looks like there's a little bit of spread going on. Pretty much everyone has made their stop. Junkie Sports on a new set of softs. We've got a little bit of a battle here with onto the podium and Sam. I was going to say Sam, it's next as Cat.
Side by side, some interesting battles last season, but on the podium was on the outside, isn't the chicane?
It's not the first time he's done that, so I think he prefers to attack that way. It gives him the inside in the second part, so good on him.
You've got to spot your braking point every time if you're going on the outside. So
yeah, it's a bit of a dangerous one, but it's working out well for him in terms of the cut.
Finally got past Sam into turn 1.
So that is Jamie up into P9. I think with Sam having the damage on the right of his front wing, it won't lose too much in the left-handers, but with him having the front damage on the right hand side of his front wing, he won't be losing as much time in the right-handers, but through the left-handers he probably will be losing a bit of time because the load goes towards the left, and obviously you need the right hand side to pull the car around.
So Junkie Sports the wrong way.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Junkie coming around turn, I think that's 5 or 6.
I'm gonna guess he's dropped the wheel on that left hander at Dunlop.
Yeah, just a little tired on the cable. The grass can really send your car spinning around, so it's a touch and go area there. Sorry? Oh, Dunzo is P15.
Allowed Dunzo up to P15 after they both stopped at the same time.
And Jamie and Zombie are having a battle through 130R.
Yeah, indeed,
Jamie
might allow Sam.
Give Sam a chance. They'll also give Brutus a chance as well. Because Brutus is pretty much right by Sam. Virtually side by side. So Brutus is going to go for the outside to 1. Just backs out of it, takes the better of it.
Also, Sam spotted his brake on turn 1 nicely. Didn't run wide, kept the apex nice. Something I can never do at Japan, so that's why I'm an X.
An ex F1 driver. You just sweat GT Sport now.
Yeah, I'm not even very good at that anymore. So, yeah.
The Cat he's losing a little bit of time to. He's losing a bit of time to Ross. Keep getting confused.
That's round.
That is
in between
the
first and second Degnet.
So that is Jamie down into P13. He's got a comfortable gap to AJ still.
He does, but he's got no front wing on that right side.
No, he's got a fair bit of damage. He'll have to pit in for that, I'm guessing, or just ride it out. onto the podium, and he's closing up to the back of Cat. So they've got a history. Yeah, I've been involved in a half race long battle with these two, and it's safe to say it gets dicey at points.
Well, Lewis has just set fastest lap on 10 lap. Wait, it'll be 9 lap old mediums, and he's pulling away from Panda.
Yeah, I think
not many people on this game pull away from Panda.
I know. I think Lewis's sponsors won't be so happy with him. He's not getting much stream time.
We've got Pete and City Posh in the chat. Cheers for tuning in, boys. The stream will be back on FTRL when we're allowed to. So.
Yeah, when PlayStation decides it wants to work properly. Because I tried to get on the FTRL account, but apparently PlayStation doesn't want me signing out of my account, so I'm trapped in my account. So I think Mikey will be popping that up on the FTRL channel for those of you who want to watch it back. It'll still be up on my channel if you want to watch it. Like, I'm not going to turn you away.
Switchback picking up a penalty.
Yeah,
it's been a race to forget for Switchback.
Yeah, it's not gone well from tonight. It is a track he likes, but oh bloody hell, Cat there. Looked like Cat had a bit of oversteer in the flat out kink of the left outside the hairpin. He almost went on the grass, so
I'm leaving Cat and King well alone.
Yeah, I think
I'm not going anywhere near it.
Yeah. Onto the podium's not wanting the battle with Cat. We'll go on board with Lewis. He's just started his final lap. He's halfway through the first sector. He's almost up the back of Lee. So Lee Carl's about to be lapped, unfortunately. So
Aaron's managed to tune in and says Lewis was in season 1 and 2 of FTRL. So.
I should
Thank you for tuning in, Aaron.
Hello, Aaron. We've got Donzo and AJ having their own little battle right now. So AJ couldn't make anything work. Oh, that's AJ's cut the beginning of the final chicane. That's a 5-second penalty for him. I think if he overtakes Donzo, he'll still need to gain a fair bit of time. So I think as long as there's not a spin, those two will be finishing 14th and 15th.
Well, Donzo had a wiggle on the straight, so I don't know if that was a apologetic weave or. Brutus has had a spin at Dunlop on the final lap.
But Connor and Cat are having a go at it. Connor tried to switch from the outside to the inside of the hairpin. Couldn't quite make it work. He's practically pushing Cat through the circuit.
130R is going to be tense because neither of these drivers will back out. So
yeah, it's this is definitely one to watch between the two. They do have a history.
Comes across the line. The win is isn't his debut race, but
his second debut, we'll put it as.
His second debut.
Yeah. We go back on the boards with Cat and Connor, but nothing's going to happen because Cat's got a fairly decent gap towards the podium, through 130R, so there's not much Connor can do. That's close on the brakes.
He did everything he could to have a go.
Yeah, I think. Oh, it's got to a point. It looked like he was trying to turn Cat around, but those two Cat's going to finish 5th and onto the podium 6th. Cat's coming 7th with Zombie. Oh, it's going to be to the line between Zumpy and Switchback. The Switchback just about got him to the line.
Dropped a few on penalties. He dropped down to 12.
Is that Zombie down into P12?
Isn't it? Donzo coming through for P13. Tried the alternate strategy. One of only 2 cars to do it. Finished at P13.
Oh, I just want to. Oh, where's.
Oh, Jamie's.
We saw nothing. We didn't say anything. Yeah, we didn't see anything. To be Junkie Sports, a bit of a disappointing race for him tonight. He's got half a wing damage. He'll be coming across the line to finish P16 with Mike P17. I just want to point out that it got very close between Switchback and Zumpy coming across the line. There was a photo finish between the two of them, so I think Aaron would be proud.
Did Zumpy beat Switchback? Please he did.
Switchback actually beat Zumpy. So.
God damn it!
I think it was
is that?
Yeah. I was going to say it's a Switchback that would make Aaron proud, but Switchback finished in front, so Aaron's not going to be so proud. Aaron would be punching a wall or kicking something, he won't be very happy.
Well, who will be starting on pole for race 2? It will be Agent Panda and Goy Carp on the front row.
It shall be. So we have Lewis on his second debut, as I'm gonna call it, takes P1 by 12.3 seconds. Panda in P2 in his McLaren. He's a good race from him, coming from P5 to P2. You've got Iceman from P7 to P3 with Megatron Lechat, aka Ross, in P4 in his Renault. Katamis, surprisingly clean race. He's P5 but onto the podium, very close behind in P6. You've your Sam in 7th with Cats in 10th, Switchback in 9th, and Zumpy rounding out the top 10 in his Haas.
Well, Academy started P18 and finished 5th.
And
Sam started P20 and finished 7th, so...
I think Cat will be very happy. He had a fairly clean race. So he'll be starting, I think, around P15 for the next race here at Austria. Just as the lads sort out the costing grid, as we're going to go into a reverse grid for the second race, and we'll see how Lewis races next to Carl's, because this race it was just him.
It was indeed.
So we'll have to
Nexus Cats is already readied up, so I don't think I think he's forgot what happens now.
Yeah, I think
but
he's
do
just
have
eager.
to wait to switch around the grid. So.
Yeah, I think Nexus Cat's just a little bit eager to get going. There shouldn't be too long before we're in for the next race. We'll have Lewis starting P20 with Panda P19 and Iceman in P18. So we'll see how those three can fight their way through the field. I know Cat's fought his way through the field this race. He's going to have to do it all over again. He's going to be starting P15. I just want to say about this Austria coming up. There's a few overtaking spots, so it might be a decent circuit to go. We've got 3 DRS zones, each of which leads into their little overtaking spot. So I think we should have some overtakes going on tonight.
I mean, you would think so, but don't you? Because there is a lot of overtaking spots, but you've got to be smart about your overtaking around Austria.
Yeah, but we're going to expect a couple of people are going to just go for it. So, as we have seen in the past around some places, so it's going to be an interesting one, because there's going to be some people who hold back and there's going to be some people who want to get stuck in. So we'll see once the race starts. But Junkie in the chat, he's very happy that he actually led the race for a bit.
Well, I mean, it's probably the first time he's been that far up for a while. He's had a couple of what he would describe as not his best races, so it's nice to see him enjoying his time at the front.
Yeah. A couple of seasons ago, he did actually manage to finish P2 around Coated, I think it was, when the lead, unfortunately, at the last corner the second to last corner, decided that he didn't fancy winning and binned it, unfortunately.
He did indeed. I was commentating on that race, and I remember, what was the term? I pissed myself laughing. That was it. That's what happened.
There's been a few times where you've done that. I think it would be.
Yeah.
Oh, let's think. It was season 9 on FTRL on F1 2018. I think it was around Canada. Cat tried to basically use the real life route if you go wide at the final chicane and just put the car into the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Matt Cole? Sorry, not Cat.
Yeah,
it was Matt.
It was.
I was watching that clip back the other night.
Yeah, I do tend to laugh quite a lot. Not mean to, it just happened.
No, but it was funny.
Yeah. But we have had our more strange moments in FTRL.
Yeah, to say the least. We've had drivers deciding that they want to say hello to the pit wall.
We've had somebody crash into the safety car. That happened before. That was Monaco.
Yeah, anything can happen in FTRL, kind of. So, and it usually does.
I mean, I think Brutus has confused himself because he momentarily went into a spectator, so now he's not in a car, which is always good.
I think Brutus is trying to take my job off me. I'll have some strong words with him later on.
Well, he's back in his car now, so that's all good. And everyone's beginning to ready up, so...
Should be going into race 2 in a moment.
It looks like we've had quite a quick turnaround.
Well, we have. Didn't take long to sort the grids out.
No glitches this week, so...
Thank
touch
God.
wood. Hang on.
Yeah, touch wood.
Again. Touch
don't
wood.
jinx us. I'll jinx Lee. Don't you jinx the lobby, Paul.
To be fair, Austria's normally track. Wait, was a track I used to go fairly well at in F1. So...
I've got a bad history around here, so I think I might be saying the opposite to you.
It did used to rain quite a lot. I think that's why I was quite quick.
Yeah, with the medium traction.
Hashtag winning medium traction, so it's all good.
Medium traction's overpowered in the wet.
I'm sorry he's not crashing your car already. Longimon.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I got a podium there in the wet, so I'm not that bad.
What did I say? Austria rains.
Oh.
Oh my god.
You finally got a wet race. That's definitely going to be full wets. That's definitely going to be full wets.
Well, this is gonna...
we were begging for a wet race last week, so we've got one now.
It's gonna throw a spanner in the mix.
Definitely. It's definitely going to test a couple of drivers. See what they're made of. We know Cat has enough trouble in the dry, so I think it's the same in the wet.
I mean, we know Lee's guaranteed a spin in the dry. How many's guaranteed in the wet? I don't know.
I wouldn't be able to count that on my hands.
It's alright, just take a sock off and use a bit of foot, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But
no, I think it'd end up badly if I took my sock off.
For the first wet race in the new FTRL 25% season, we have an Agent Panda Goikart front row.
Oh god. I'm hoping Goikart's going to go full Goi into turn 1, to be honest. Now, whether that means missing a braking point and killing Agent Panda, that's a possibility. Or him going for a nice little lunge and making a good overtake. That's one of the two possibilities.
I'll tell you what, if Donzo gets away clean through the first lap, keep an eye out for him.
Is Donzo good in the wet? I haven't really
seen him. He won't be the
much.
quickest, but I haven't really seen him make mistakes. Which, in the wet, is probably the main thing.
Yeah. I know that firsthand. So, the whole grid is flipped on its head. We've got Brutus, who's in P20. I don't quite know why that is.
I think that's because he left his car and then turned back into his car after the grid had been set. So
yeah, it's a bit of a tough one.
It's not a mistake he'll make again, I'm sure he will not.
Yeah, Brutus won't be happy with himself for that. He's going to have to fight his way through the grid if he wants to get some good points.
Well, Pete's backed me up. He's going hashtag prediction Dunzo to win it. So
I'm expecting Lee will be backing people up in a moment, as he usually likes to do. But oh, yeah, he's doing it. Lee's backing them up, I think.
I don't know why Lee does this.
Oh, I know. It's just Lee trying to play those mind games, isn't it?
I think he's trying to find the button to like drop a banana at the back of his car, and he can't find it.
I'm sure there's a button on his wheel that says kill. I think that might be the right one to use.
I mean, if you're in a Ferrari in GT Sport in cockpit cam, there's a button that says twat. So I always know I'm driving it because it's calling me the right name. So yeah.
I saw that once. I started pressing every button trying to see if it'd work.
What, try to see if I joined the party when you pressed it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Safe to say he never joined.
Well, I'm going to watch Cat again because he's usually fairly good off the start. He was last time. So.
I'm going to keep my eye on Goi because I'm expecting he's going to have a little side-by-side moment with Panda going to turn 1. But
we've had 2 jump starts.
So that's a good start from Goi. He's pretty much in front of Agent Panda already. So that's Goikarp down inside into turn 1. A little bit of tapping with Michael Lee and Junkie for a moment. I think it's 3 wide into turn 1.
The 15-metre braking board has gone to Narnia.
Yeah, that braking board ceases to exist. It's not one that's often used for braking points anyway. But Panda rear ends Gui a little bit, and that is Lee into the lead. Now, how long can Lee go in the lead? That's going to be an interesting one. He's had a tough race in the first one. What's
A
happened?
massive concertina behind, and both Red Bulls are now 6th and 7th. No one's got going out of turn 3.
So, I just want to say, Guicarp got turn... Well, it's turn 4, but I'm going to call it turn 3. You got turn 3 pretty nicely, managed to keep it clean, no lock-ups, but Lee went deep, and Agent Panda also went deep, and Agent Panda from P3 is now down to P5. So Panda's lost a couple of positions tonight. He's not going to be quite happy. He's going to have to try and find a way back up the grid as soon as possible. The Junkie Sport has dropped down 2 positions. So it's going to be 3 in a moment. Sam's trying it round the outside, turn 8. But is he going to try and switch back through turn 9? It's looking like he might.
In the pits. That can only be damage.
Yeah, that's the only possibility for that. To go side by side, it's going to look like 3 wide into turn 1. I think Sam's just backed out.
That could be his drive-through penalty for jumping the start, because Zombie's doing the same.
Ah, yeah, there was a drive-through.
Oh my word! Turn 1.
2 Ferraris onto the podium, and Donzo. There's AJ. This has been a little bit of a moment.
Panda has no wing end plates, and we've got a virtual safety car.
So, can you enlighten us on what just happened?
No.
Okay.
Onto the podium was facing the wrong way. I don't know if he had help.
I just saw a yellow flag at the corner and tried to rush down. I just saw 2 Ferraris, both on the red stuff, facing the opposite direction, but that's onto the podium, half a wing damage. I think Donzo's actually still got most of his front wing. I don't think Donzo's got damage. Let's have a look. Let's get on board with Donzo. Well, that was off nothing. We haven't got much of a view on board, so I don't think Donzo's got damage, to be honest with you. I think he got out of that clear.
Is in a prime position now. He's a very quick driver.
No, both Ferraris have wing damage.
He's in P2.
He does.
I think Donzo switched back, and someone else just got another drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car.
Yeah, it's quite common. We've had that happen a few times. So is that a drive-through they got, or is that a 5 second?
I think it's a drive-through.
That's a little bit of a harsh one.
It is. Donzo's driving through pit lane.
Yeah, he's
worked with mechanics. Onto the podium, he's gone for the intermediate tyre.
Oh, okay, so Connor's going for something a little bit different. So it's like
I've just gone on board with going. It looks like he's struggling to stop the car, but that rain is coming down heavy.
Lewis is up into P12, he's going to be P11 right now. He's just dived it down inside the cat. That's him onto the grass. That's also cat onto the grass unprovoked. It's going to be Brutus down inside to take P11 off cat.
I mean, if you outbrake cat, it usually means you're going in the gravel. So
yeah. If he's outbraking cat, he's lucky to not be in a barrier.
Cat is the last of the late breakers, so...
Yeah, he can be. There's still a battle between Cat and Brutus. Cat's not backing off, he's still trying to get that position back. There's not much Cat can do into turns 8 and 9. So Brutus has I think there's a half second gap between them.
Zumpy's gaining on Goy Carpenter to switch back into his pit lane.
Yeah, I think the battle between these two will be starting in a moment. I think as Gumpy gets a nice run out of turn 2, he can have a decent shot into 3. He did set the fastest first sector, so that is a little something to point out. Zumpy is running quite quickly.
Did not just say Gumpy.
I said Zumpy. If I called him Gumpy, he must be good at running, so...
Well, Lewis is trying to battle his way side by side with Ross. Ross gets the better exit. Sorry, Megatron gets the better exit.
Yep. Just side by side into turn 4. I think Megatron's holding his way around the outside of Lewis. I think Lewis just about manages to make his way through, but it's looking like Ross is just going to keep his nose in there, side by side through turn 5. So it was a bit close between the two. They managed to get through nice and cleanly, no contact between them. Good old fashioned battle.
Held off Zumpy for a lap.
Yeah, Zumpy, not Gumpy. I didn't even notice I called that. I thought I said Zumpy, but apparently my voice might have just changed some letters around. I don't know.
Well, Sam's in pit lane. Switchback actually had a drive-through, so he's on the same amount of tyres, but he's coming back into the pits this lap. So Sam's on Inders.
I'm going to stay on board with this because Zumpy has just managed to get past Guikar into turn 3. There's not much Guikar can do to respond. Zumpy's pulling out on the straight. Let's have a look. We've got a few drivers on the Inters. We've got Sam's just pitting for
Zumpy sideways in front of Guy. They've both got wing damage. Lee's going through.
Lee is in P2. And he will have to pit. Obviously, everyone on the wet tyre is going to have to pit apart from AJ.
What was it?
So Lee's running quite well right now.
Just set fastest lap.
I don't think I should have said that. So, yeah, Lee Cole's got in a good little position. Oh, bloody hell. That's it. Mike's had a bit of a moment outside that was turn
Mike's
7.
still having a moment. He can't get off the wall.
A bit of Gorilla Glue stuck on the wall. Couldn't quite manage to pull himself back. We've got a few drivers on the Inters right now. We're going to switch back onto the podium, and Sam are running the intermediate. We got Nexus Cats pitting in, so we'll stay on board with him for a minute, see what he's doing.
A pair of cats in pit lane, and a panda. It's going to be a zoo down there in a minute.
Let's see. Okay, so Cats is pitting for a set of Inters. And a new front wing.
6 guys in pit lane, they're all going on the intermediates.
It's changeover right now. Change over to Inters. So with it changing over to Inters, not even halfway through the race, could we see a changeover into the dry?
On the podium, set fastest lap again. That's 2 in a row.
So that Inter's definitely working. So there's not an awful lot going on track right now. Just everyone making the pit stop and coming out. But we've got a little bit of side by side with Junkie and Iceman.
Donzo's come round turn 1 and been disqualified for blocking the pit lane.
He's probably hit the wall under the brakes, misjudged, and I think if you do reverse and move the car back, it's an instant disqualification. So I think he might have just had a bit of a little head on with the wall, might have locked the tyres up.
Pete, I think we should both take responsibility for that. It wasn't mine, and we both did it. So yeah, we both sort of jinxed Donzo. Okay. Agent Panda's carrying on.
Yeah, Agent Panda
Everyone else is pitted.
That's going to cost Panda a lot of time. A lot of time. I'd say roughly about 5 seconds, so he's got to have a good reason to be staying out there. I don't think his teammates are.
Zumpy with a front wing change.
He has. That is Lee Cole. Up into P2, he's just come out in front of Sam by about a second. Yeah, 1.7 seconds is separating Lee and Sam.
On at the podium, set fastest lap, the 3rd lap in a row. But switch back for exit.
Well, it's got close between Lewis and Goy in the exit of the pit lane. So you've got an old little train of guys on the intermediates coming out. You know, Lewis is looking at the inside into turn 3. That's Jamie tried the outsides, and that's Guicarp also gone wide. So Jamie's had a moment. So that's unfortunate for him. I'll have to explain that one later. Yeah, and Brutus was already on the racing line, so I think Jamie might have missed the braking zone, to be honest. That might have been what caused that.
Well, Agent Panda's decided to come in.
Yeah, it's going to cost him a bit of time. I think he might, actually, I don't know, he might be within the pack. So it's going to be a tough one for him. We'll go on board with Lee, see how far in front he comes out, and I'm expecting it will be quite far.
I mean, if you want to jinx Lee, you better do it now, because if he's leading at the end of the race and jinx him, he's not going to be happy.
I'm not going to say a word about Lee. so Lee's he's took the lead so far, so you'll see how he can do with that. I'm not going to place any expectations. So that is Agent Panda that's Agent Panda in 5th. That's not the one I want. Panda, he's in 12th.
Yeah, obviously Panda had that wing change early on.
Yeah. So not too much going on. I think there's Junkie and Brutus going on. I think Junkie's just overtook Brutus, and Lewis is going to try and get a move on Brutus now. Now, I wanted to see, I think Junkie's catching up to Cat a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be enough for them to be battling at the end of the race. But I want to say, if we have a battle between Junkie and Cat, I'm going to have to run down and get some popcorn real quick. I think I'll be there till 2 o'clock watching the video back.
Well, Agent Panda versus Cat.
Let's have a look.
Cat looking the quicker car, but Agent Panda's had a fantastic race so far, still P5.
He's doing quite well. So the Pandas aren't exactly being an embarrassment tonight. It's been good for them.
Well,
I have to find a way to put it in.
Through.
Yeah, Cat's up into P5. That's Junkie Sports having a battle with Lewis. That's Lewis just about managed to get through into turn 1, but that's going to open a gap up for Brutus to slip down the inside.
Zumpy's got past Sam at turn 3. Sam clipped that inside curb, got oversteer on exit.
So a little mistake has just dropped Sam down a position. This shows how costly a mistake can be in the wet. I think we've got a battle going on here.
Our other Panda in the field is trying to get past Goy, but Goy putting up a brave defence. I say that as he goes straight down the inside of him.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for that, Goy. Oh, there's a Red Bull. It's Junkie Sport in the gravel.
It is. Oh, I don't quite know what's happened there. He was having a little touch and go with Lewis a moment ago. Don't join the track. Please don't, Junkie. Okay. He's let Mike through. Good thinking by Junkie. With age comes wisdom.
Junkie's set fastest lap. He's chasing down late.
He has. He's definitely. He's putting the pedal to the metal for Zumpy right now. He's definitely chasing after Lee. He's just gained 3/10 in one corner. I was trying to find the freeze, but I couldn't quite find it. But we've got a battle between Iceman and Guicarp right now. And Guicarp's right behind Iceman, so.
Iceman pulled the move into turn 1. Oh, Guy's sending it back into turn 3. Little bit of contact.
Yeah, a little bit of an attempt for Guy. Couldn't quite get it done. That's going to put Megatron behind him.
Got a battle of the Scots. 13th and 14th. Megatron versus Switchback.
So I think these two will be fighting for the pride of Scotland right now.
I mean, it's only a little bit of pride. It is Scotland.
I'm not getting involved. I don't think Switchback will be happy you said that.
We've already taken their freedom, so it's fine.
We'll just see if one of them has a brave heart.
God, no. Zumpy's right on the back of the lead now. He's in slipstream.
It's very close.
Goes to the outside for turn 3.
Yeah, Lee's trying to hold the inside line. Looks like Zumpy's got him onto brakes. Zumpy taking the lead so far. The Lico's still in line for a podium. He is going to have Sam on his tail in not too long. Although Sam is on to lap all the tyres. Lewis has just made his way past Panda. He is now up into P6. Onto the podium, and Panda are having their own little battle now.
Yeah, indeed.
Panda got passed into turn 3, but Connor's going to go down the inside for turn 4.
Oh!
I
thought he was going to hit Brutus.
He has got a bit of wing damage as well, so he's not going to have as much downforce when he's braking. So I got a little bit tense there. I thought he was going to hit the back of Brutus.
Well, on the podium and Brutus have had some collisions before, so.
Yeah, they have.
I remember Mexico. Was it last season before? I think they collided with each other 3 times because I managed to lap both of them. So that was...
Pagani lapping someone.
Yeah, that's how bad they were.
Well, it's definitely not how good you are.
Race winner, all it counts.
Yeah, same.
Did 3 for race winner.
The race win's a race win. just want to put it on the record. Even if I was in Div 2, I still would have won that race. So we got Panda and Connor still having to go at it. Goes onto the podium around the outside. Manages to spot the breaking point quite nicely. He's up into P9 for now. I'm expecting Panda will be trying to find a way down the inside into 40. He is tucked into that slipstream. Well, not really, he's not going for the inside. A little nudge up into turn 4. I thought Panda was going to try and return the favour onto the podium for a minute. Sends one up the inside himself. But that is, I think that's Jamie. He's had a spin in turn 4.
We've got a Williams battle for P3.
Yeah, I'd never thought. Williams. So, a good run from the lads in the Williams so far. They're running P3 and P4. Sam hasn't made much inroads till Lee. Obviously with Nexus Cat on the back of him. It's gonna hamper him a bit. He's gonna have to defend. And obviously defending costs time. I think I'm a brilliant punter. Overtaking costs time. I know my stuff.
I mean, next thing you said, the slowest part of the track is going to be a corner. I mean,
well, it can be a straight if you spin out, like Ravers did a couple of seasons ago at Mexico. That one fateful evening.
Yeah, it is that.
If you don't know what I mean, his tyre punctured on the straight. He ended up looking at a wall.
So far, we've got a Haas about to lap another Haas. As Zumpy's made it at the back of AJ.
Yeah, Zumpy is quite close to his teammate. His teammate isn't actually racing, it's his ghost car.
It's probably because he's a lap car, so it's ghosted him out.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's a lap car. Just let him through. At least he's not trying to drive at full speed while the lead is coming through. But oh no, he's gone down the inside into turn 1. Oh, never mind.
Jamie's lost it again.
And this battle between Sam and Katz is kicking off a little bit. We're all looking to try and get a move done. And you don't have awfully long to go. Only 4 laps.
He's not going to stop that.
Nope, it's going deep. That's allowing Sam to. Oh, Jamie's retired. That might. Don't think that was a crash. So Sam's put a little bit of a gap with the Katz being unable to stop the car, as he was almost unable to stop the car then into turn 4. There's going to be a yellow flag in sector 3 if Jamie's car doesn't be... Oh yeah, his car's been taken away. So no yellow flag into turn 4, but Panda and onto the podium.
Panda are on the podium, we're still fighting. It's letting Nexus Iceman close up.
Yeah, it's going to put them under more pressure with a third and maybe a fourth car trying to get in on the battle. There's Megatron Lechat, aka Ross. He's not too far back in P12.
The guy's picked up the penalty.
He has. Whereabouts is going? He's in P14.
So
Lewis, fastest lap of 14.6. So he's starting to feel the intermediate tyre. I mean, he probably has just got out of traffic, so it's a good moment for him to push.
We're about to have a 4-car train for P3.
We are. There'll be Sam, Kat, and Lewis. The Cat's trying to find his way past the ghost car of AJ. So that's going to serve as a distraction for the lads trying to come through.
Oh, Panda's finally got past on the podium. Iceman's trying to do the same.
He is. Iceman's trying to... Oh, okay. Ross is trying it as well. So it's about to be dropping 3 positions in one corner. I think onto the podium is also going to try and defend it. Ross tucks back in just a little bit.
I say Ross doesn't go for the dive down the inside.
A little bit of racing from Ross there, not forcing the move he doesn't need to. But we've got a 4-car battle for what looks to be P3.
Lewis inside Cat into the last sector.
We've got Cat inside AJ as well. So it doesn't seem that the ghost car of AJ is doing an awful lot to distract the lads. They're still trying to push to stay with each other. But these two Williams drivers, Sam and Kat, they've been battling for quite a bit. I think it'd be since around lap 10 to lap 8. So they're having a good little battle, the two of them. That's where most of the action's going on, but Ross is trying to find his own way past onto the podium. So he's trying to figure something out.
Everybody's tried to get past onto the podium at some point. So.
Yeah. But as the podium, he likes to defend as much as he can. Then Ross holds back into turn 3. He's trying to set himself up for 4.
Brutus.
Well, it won't be long until Panda's up to his teammate. We've got an embarrassment of Panda's running in P7 and P8. Ross not managing to find a way past onto the podium with his brakes glowing red hot. So he's definitely trying his best to get up to the back of him. He's having a little bit of trouble with that though. So we'll move back up to the front because it's starting to kick off a bit. It's literally almost a 4-car train. No right behind each other, with EVR Sam leading that train.
I say there's Williams Pert.
That's going to be side by side into one. Carter's holding to the inside. Sam holds to the outside. He runs a little bit wide. That's going to allow Lewis down the inside to try and get the both of them into 3.
They held each other up massively through turn 1. It's probably the worst corner to overtake.
Yeah, it's hard enough to get your own car through, never mind 2. So if you want to hold someone up, try and overtake them in that part of the track.
Of course, you're better off holding out and going down the straight into the next corner.
Which is exactly what Lewis done, and that's gained him 2 positions. He's now back up on the podium. He's got 2 laps to gain 2 seconds on Lee, so we'll see if he can do it. Plus, obviously, you can catch up to a car, but you've also got to try and overtake it as well. So I don't think Lee will be giving up any positions so far, as he's running quite well.
Well, we had City watching the chat earlier cheering on Lee, so... However, I do wish to say that it has stopped raining, but the track is still too damp. So.
Yeah, it's still kicking up a fair bit of water from those tyres. I think I was doing a random career mode race at one point, and Jeff decided to butt in while I was racing and tell me that these tyres can kick up about 60 litres of water. A little fun fact for you.
So if you're thirsty, stand behind the F1 car. There you go.
Yeah, just grab a jug, aim it at the car while they're driving, see where you can get. Probably break the jug.
FTRL Panda has looked past Agent Panda.
Yeah, so teammates have swapped position.
Oh, traction out of these hairpins, and 90 rates is looking sparse now.
Yeah. They are going to be running a tyre built for wet conditions, and it is starting to dry up.
We are on the last lap, as Lewis is right on the back of Lee.
Lewis is trying to find a way past. He's going to try around the outside of turn 6. He's trying around the outside of 6 for a moment. Lee's defending the inside for 8. Lewis can't do too much. What to call him, Liam then?
Zumpy crosses the line to win race 6.
So Zumpy takes his first win of the season. He's side by side with Lee and Lewis across the line. Lee just about manages to take P2 without spinning the car. Katz is in P3. Katz in 4th.
Jumped up as Lewis has dropped all the way down to 6th on penalties.
It's not the best of races for Lewis. A couple of penalties dropped him back 2 positions. He won't be the happiest with it, but he's done a good job to get from P19 to P6. You're going to give him that, and especially to P4 on the track. So a good little race there, as you just wait for Junkie Sport to round the final corner. It's not been the best of evenings for him tonight. A little mishap at 2 here and there, so it dropped him, cost him a fair bit. But he is starting to find performance. That's one encouraging thing for him. So if I'm not wrong, is that Zumpy's first win?
I'm not sure.
I think Boy Carp's just rage quit as soon as the thing comes up. I think it might be his first race win, so a good job from Zumpy there. As everyone decides to waste perfectly good champagne instead of drinking it.
Yeah, you would think I'm a bit thirsty, I would neck it, but like do a full Raikkonen, but no, I'd rather
just step off to the side and enjoy your new bottle of alcohol. Why not? So, we'll just run through the grid real quick. P1, Zumpy taking his first base win, but Lee Cole getting a good result in P2. Cat in P3 with Cat having a good night tonight. He's took P4. You've got Sam in P5 at Lewis dropping 2 positions. He's P6. He started P19, so a good drive from him. You've got Pans in P7, so also a good drive from him. He's had a fair few overtakes, so a good little battle went onto the podium. Iceman in P8 with Agent Panda in P9. Brutus Beer rounding out the top 10 in his outfit. And onto the podium not too far behind in P11. We've got Switchback 12th, Lashat 13th, Zombie 14th, Mike 15th with Guicarp, Chunky, AJ, Jamie and Donzo rounding out the last 5 positions. So just wait for this. Yeah, this is what takes us back into the lobby.
Well, pair of interesting races. That weather definitely spiced it up a little bit.
Yeah, we finally got that wet weather race we were looking for. Yeah, we didn't have one last season. We've 6 races into this season, we finally got one, so you can't complain at all.
I was going to say, I retire and we get wet races. Like, it was bound to happen.
Yeah. Chill luck, unfortunately. There you go, City Posh Blue in the chat saying pure worldwide domination. I'm not quite sure what that's for.
I think he's talking about his first official team in FTRL, which involves himself, Pete, Chicken Dude and Cress, I believe.
Oh.
So,
that's why.
Yeah.
So, good couple races tonight, eh?
It was indeed. I mean, I'm not sure where we are next week.
I'll get that up. Let's have a look.
I'm sure it'll make for another pair of interesting races.
Yes, we'll be moving on to rounds 7 and 8 next week. And that's the Java lineup, it's not the calendar. Okay, so we've got the calendar here. Week 4, we've got Russia and Italy.
Ooh.
So there's a few over. Russia in real life, it's not the best track, but on the game, it's quite spicy.
I know about Russia in the wet. I remember I had a very nice slide around turn 4. Yeah, that was quite nice.
Yeah. I had season 8, a good battle with Marcos, who's no longer with us. Let's make it sound like he's died, he's perfectly fine. He's just not racing for us anymore. Yeah, nice little battle with him for P3.
Flying a plane somewhere.
Yeah, he decided to hit a wall and come back and fly into the side of me. Luckily he didn't take it with him. So, next week...
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Next Wednesday will be Russia and Italy, which Italy rounded off the final rounds of Div 2 for last season. So that will be next Wednesday with us 2 amazing commentators again. I think on tomorrow we will have the GT2 lads doing their final races around. Let's have a look. They were doing their final races on GT around the Interlagos GP circuit, so that is Brazil, and St. Croix Layout B.
Couple of tough tracks for the GT2 boys tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. All the skills they've learned throughout this season, going to put them to the test on the final round of this season. So I'm not entirely sure who that will be commentating those races.
It might well be Lee and Sai, but don't quote me on that, people.
Okay, so we will be having on Friday, which I believe will be Switchback doing comms. We will be doing Div 1 around the Nordschleife and Kyoto. I don't know why I switched back. I don't know what he's doing there. But yeah, so last rounds for Division 1 on Friday will be around the Nordschleife and Kyoto. I think me mentioning that switchback will be doing commentary for that kind of summoned him into the party.
I mean, those are some interesting powers you have.
I know. I'm a man of many talents.
Superman has strength, Spider-Man has webs, you have the ability to make Switchback appear.
Yeah, granted, it's not the best of powers, but it's a power nonetheless. It's something to brag about. So that's all the races for the rest of this week and next week laid out. As I said, it'll be us two again on Wednesday doing comms for Russia and Italy. So for those who are watching, thank you for watching. I know Peteman has been in. He's always in. He likes to join in. So thanks for you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.